Wrestling Brain. Welcome back to Wrestling Brain. I'm Uturusinza, Josh Custodio here for our AEW WrestleDream 2025 edition preview show. I am here with the most handsome cast ever assembled for a preview show. They're saying the streets are buzzing. They're saying, is this the Victoria's Secret fashion show or a wrestling preview show? Because they're confused if we're models or not. It's of course me, Josh Custodio, joined by our pal. He's on all these things. You know him, you love him from Puck Soup. RL, how are you tonight, my friend?
Chilling. How about you?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Great to see you.
Yeah.
Thanks again for jumping on. You know him from Weird Islanders. His great knowledge of many things I'm interested in. This man knows a lot about. Dan Saraceni's in the house tonight. Dan, how do we find you?
I'm very well, very honored to be on once again, as always, even though I have no idea what I'm talking about. You guys keep inviting me. I'm going to do the best I can, though.
Love having you on, man. And finally, he's the mod of the chat. He's the mod of the Discord. He's the man in charge. 2 more M's coming your way. He's Matty Mac. And you this evening, brother, are?
I am great. Thank you for having me. It's a good distraction from baseball.
Fantastic. Yeah, here, some people stopped playing sports. Some people stopped playing Ghost of Yote. I stopped nothing. I was all I did all day was stare at a wall until it was time to preview WrestleDream. I sat motionless in anticipation to talk to you three about a pay-per-view that I'm kind of low on, to be honest. I think maybe I don't know how you three are feeling about it. We'll do some 1-7 scores in a second here. But for me, I'm not feeling the normal sizzle. I like the return to a Saturday night, but I'll start with you here, Dan. Give me the helicopter view here. Where's your excitement level for tomorrow night's WrestleDream? Sorry, Saturday nights.
I think it's pretty good, pretty 5.5, 6, I would say. The 2 matches at the top of the card, I think, are doing most of the heavy lifting, and Hangman Joe and Darby Mox in particular is the one I'm probably most looking forward to. I feel like it's one, though, and looking over the card, I feel like it's one that has a lot of unpredictability about it. So that's kind of got me a little bit high, even if the matchups aren't, there's not a ton of sizzle there. I can see where you're coming from, but I don't know. I feel like a lot of them could kind of go either way. So I'm a little excited about that.
What about you, Matty Mac? 1-7. Where are you sitting on this one?
I'm about a 4.5. I can't watch live.
That hurts.
Definitely. And I feel like the last week has almost hurt my score going into it. And we'll touch on that, I'm sure, for everyone. But yeah, that's what I'm at.
Tough. RL, I saw you nodding along there. This week reducing your interest in the pay-per-view. That's quite the criticism.
Yeah, I mean, again, we'll get into why I, like Maddie, I am not able to watch live. I got to go to work on Saturday night, so that, that's life. But
down at the paper mill.
Oh yeah, I'm shoveling coal down there. I wouldn't believe it. But yeah, so it's just kind of tough because there's maybe 4 matches that I'm like, oh, that'll be an actual really good one that I haven't seen before, or there's an interesting spin on it, and then the rest is just like, you're not gonna believe this. The conglomeration is in a 6-man. Oh, awesome! I can't fucking wait.
Yeah, I feel that you're joking, but this conglomeration 6-man, I almost feel like it's a little too evocative of Dynamite in general right now, where it's just very landlocked to these specific zones. And I don't know, I don't feel a ton of anticipation for WrestleDream. Maybe this preview show can get me more in gear. Do you have a number score 1-7, RL?
Oh yeah, 5.25, I guess. I don't know.
Nice.
Something in there.
And I'm at a 5. The return to the Saturday night spot helps, but not enough there's just not enough meat on this card in terms of build to have, I'm not dying to find out the result to more than 2, maybe 3 matches on this card. But I do agree with Dan that there are some that I find almost pleasantly difficult to call, and we'll get through that. I'll ask the chat, what match are you most excited for on this card? But we'll start at the top with Hangman Page versus Samoa Joe. Matty Mac had said that his excitement was a little lessened this week. I don't know how much you meant about this match in particular, but this is one match where I felt like the high point of the feud was last week, their face-to-face on the mic, and then their sort of low temperature exchange yesterday on Dynamite, just with the belt exchange and the handoff. Didn't really add anything to the, I don't know, to raise the temperature, for God's sakes. Where are you on this one, Matty? Have you enjoyed these two together? What do you think of the match itself?
Yeah, I think up until yesterday they were great together. And even yesterday they were still good at what they were doing. I just didn't think it helped my excitement or the storyline at all. After last week's confrontation, it almost seemed like a step back. Um, but I do think that Hangman's a good guy, and hopefully Joe knocks his head off.
How about you, RL? Have you thought that these two have delivered on Hangman and Joe feud as you're heading into Saturday night?
It's barely been a feud. They had the one exchange last week, like you said, but before that, it was just like he kind of was just like, I decided I have a problem with you, which is fine. Samoa Joe just can have a problem with someone out of nowhere, and I don't think it's like a big deal. Doesn't need to be explained very much. And then last night it's a lot like, I'll see you on Saturday. Oh, you're gonna see me. I'll see you. And it's like, okay, man, just have the match then. That's fine. So
And they leaned into that at the start, and I really liked that part about it. It was like, you dropped your belt. Why are you mad? And Joe's like, you know what? Yeah, I am. I'm a wrestler. I'm the best. I'm gonna get that belt. That was good enough for me. And the 2 weeks since, last week was pretty good. And then this week, again, a total like regression from, it was good where it was. You don't have to have this good guy, bad guy story necessarily here. And that's what it comes down to at the end of it. But Joe wants to fight to win a belt. Hangman is a good guy and owes him that for having successfully got the belt. Great.
You know what they needed? They needed to pull apart last night.
You must work for the AEW booking committee. that is their parachute pull on anything. I think they just need to do what they did last week, yesterday, instead of last week. Like go home, high point. Like you're racing to that in a feud where the start of it is him dropping Hangman or Joe's Trios title. Like you didn't need to rush to anything. It would have been fine. Dan, talk to me about the match itself. I actually think there's a pretty high ceiling on what this is going to be able to do in ring. Where do you sort of slot it in terms of match quality on the night? And are you excited for this one?
I am very excited. Yeah, I don't know if feud would be the really be the right word. More like disagreement, I guess, would probably be. I don't know if it's not really a sexy way to get people in the door, but I think it'll be good. I think these are two very good professional wrestlers, and I expect them to hit each other really hard, and to do all the things that they normally do. Again, Joe has been sick for 25 years. I never go into a match of his not expecting to be wowed and really enjoyed. And obviously Hangman is on a great run. But it's actually funny, Josh, because I was thinking about your recap of All Out and how disappointed you were with the Hangman Fletcher match, which we also had a lot of kind of anticipation for. And I thought it was fine. I think a lot of people thought it was mostly fine. You didn't like it. So that got me thinking like, well, I hope it's fine. I think it'll be fine. It'll be fine, right? Something like that.
I planted the negative seed in your head. I think these two probably actually match up on paper. Like the style that you imagine these two blended together and what they create does just appeal to me more on paper. But we will see. I would outright be considering putting the belt on Samoa Joe here. I don't think they're going to. I think he has basically a 0% chance to win. But I don't think Hangman's story is the dominant champ on top. And you could do worse than switching it on to Samoa Joe here. Beyond that, I think this just sort of suffers from being two babyface champions against one another, with Samoa Joe holding the trios title. I think Samoa Joe will start acting pretty nefarious pretty early in the match, or at least sort of sarcastic and nonchalant, and try to get some of the boos in this match and not have anyone turn on Hangman. Not that I think that he's at risk of that, but the crowd is naturally going to want to magnetize towards someone to boo and cheer and find a rooting interest. So I'm a little bit interested to watch that develop throughout this match, but ultimately it feels like I don't know if one of you can think of a better word, but just sort of a transitional pay-per-view in that way. Like it's going to be a good match. We know who's going to win. Joe's still going to be the trios champ at the end of the day. Not a lot of actual action is going to transfer at the top of this card on Saturday night. Kev Sell in the chat, most excited for Stat and Tony. Everybody else on Darby versus Mox, and I'd be joining everybody else on that as well. Anyone picking Samoa Joe here? Or are we unanimous on Hangman?
I wish it was Samoa Joe. Oh my
Yeah.
god, it would be so sick.
Any
Super
chance,
sick.
RL? Even 10%?
No, not really. I wish, but you don't build
Not with you.
Hangman for a year and then he loses his belt in 4 months to a guy who, he's on Twisted Metal half the year,
And still would be worth having. To show
Yeah,
a
he
little
rocks. I love Samoa Joe. For the record, just he should win, but he won't.
How about our illustrious producer, Bobby Two Beers? Are you back there, Bobby? I forgot to intro you off the top, keeping the show running. These beautiful graphics you've done for this. Is there any chance that your beloved Samoa Joe dethrones Hangman Page on Saturday night?
I do actually think that there is a bit of a chance.
So glad I came to you. What sort of percentage are we talking?
I'd put it at 25. Still low,
Hey!
but definitely
That's
higher
a
than
coin
10.
flip where I come from.
I think that they want Joe to be that guy in AEW. When he beat MJF, it was a surprise to some degree. I think they want that to be his kind of character, is like spoiler, who can just turn it on and do it when he needs to. I think that they are leaning into the audience. They expect the audience to remember that with MJF and be like, hey, maybe he's live for this one. He probably won't win, and they're probably just using that kind of goodwill that they built on it on the MJF win to put a little bit of believability into a main event that probably has none. But I do think that he's a real live option. I'm mostly confused by why they seem to really want to keep him a babyface when he could easily just start acting like a heel and that would be fine. Like, why did they have to do the Hangman save? I was watching that trios match like a hawk, thinking eventually he might just walk away from his teammates or something, but he didn't. He just worked a normal match. So that part says to me maybe they think that if he does win, they still want a babyface champ. They just want a different one,
Yeah, I get what you mean there. It's like less of a actual transition. We'll find out. Down the card one, it's Chris Statlander with her first defense of her AEW Women's World title, at least on pay-per-view, against the last woman to hold that belt. It's Toni Storm. Dan, I don't think I'm wrong in saying Toni Storm, one of your favorite wrestlers on the AEW roster, yeah?
Absolutely. I have her timeless action figure right above my desk over here.
Great figure.
And I'm excited for this one. I get what you're saying about the build. Hasn't really been that great. Stats, acting, leaves a little bit to be desired compared to her wrestling. I'm excited for this because it's basically just a continuation of the kind of surprise 4-way win Statlander had in the last pay-per-view. And I was thinking about this match, and I was thinking about actually Swerve and Ospreay's match from Forbidden Door, whatever year it was, the one at UBS.
Yep.
And terrific match, easily the best match on that entire card. And after it was over, Ospreay was like, I wanted Swerve to go over in that match because I wanted there to be no doubt this guy is the champion. I'm not like here lurking about. He's still kind of new at that time. I'm not like here lurking about and like kind of, angling to get the champ. I wanted him to be the champion, and that was it. And then obviously it went towards the Danielson thing. And I started thinking about
great comparison
this in terms of that. And I assume Stat's going to win. I don't know what you guys are. And if and when she does, it'll be like, this is her belt. Tony can walk off into the sunset, come back as a different character or a different version of the same character as she did last time. And then Stat can just go do her thing, whatever that thing is. So, from that perspective, I think this is going to be good. Even if the build to it has been a little bit, it's been okay. It's just not been great.
It's just been sort of in Tony's world while being the Statlander defense, which is sort of my only real criticism of it. They haven't really
draws a lot of attention.
No, there's no doubt about it. And that's, the price of being the cost to be the boss, so to speak. Matty Mac, where's your expectations for this one? I think a lot of people around the channel think that Chris Statlander really is capable of giving people their very best match. Is this something that could be sort of considered among the best women's matches in AEW this year? Like, is that on the table for this one?
Yeah, for sure. I don't think that Toni Storm often gets a partner that is so solid as a base. She has with Megan Bain, and there's examples. But for someone at the level of Stat that isn't just a base, but she's also like an extremely good power wrestler. I don't want to say she's like Claudio, but she's kind of like Claudio, in that she's big, strong, but still super athletic. I think you guys know where I'm at here.
Yeah, I don't hate that comparison.
So I do think that it can really bring something unique to the table with that that matchup between the two. And then as far as the story within the match, I think it's going to be Tony taking everything Stat can have and Stat kind of cementing her place at the top of the card.
That is, I think, just on its own something to look forward to. Like, if you want to be at the top of this card, you have to beat Tony Storm in singles competition.
Yeah, and it should be.
RL, how about for yourself? Where are you on sort of Statlander, what we've seen so far, and this matchup in particular with Tony Storm?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Tony Storm is still the main character of that division, if you want to say, in much the same way Hangman was, even when he didn't have the title for a while there.
Oh, right,
and and at a certain point, I need Stat to show me that she can also be the main character, they had to really cut around her acting on Wednesday, I thought. And then they got in the ring and it was compelling again, and it's like, if that's the way it's going to be, that's fine. Just don't have her talk. Like, her strength is in ring and like looking physical and being impressive in that way. Just let her do that.
And it's not like we don't know how to book that archetype.
That's exactly right.
Like, the person can't really talk, but they're great in ring. Well, it's too bad that sort of person has never been a champion in wrestling because we have no idea what to do.
Yeah, certainly in AEW, like they let Kenny talk, but they shouldn't have,
I do like. Oh, go ahead.
No,
please, man.
Yeah.
I was going to say that I do like that they've kind of given Stat the chance to sink or swim.
Mhm.
I think with an athlete and a talent that she is, like, at some point we need to know. And I'm fine with doing it now, especially because she is a little more secured with Tony. Like, Tony's there to catch her in many ways. Still bad, but with anyone else, good grief, it'd just be terrible. So I do like that about it.
I think Tony is there to catch her to some degree, but it does ask something of everybody that Tony promos with to not just cut through the bullshit and be like, what is this? Like, and Statlander having to sit there with like these verbose promos, the whole Tony thing is playing out. Again, it's struggling being a babyface versus babyface feud. She can't interrupt her. She has to hear out all this stuff. And then it's like, okay, now it's your turn. And the spotlight's now on. You're following. It's like following Matty Mac at the fashion show. I want to go before, not after. And I felt like that's just, again, not putting her in a position to win. But I know what you mean, that you do have to sink or swim and be put in. I just think there's a version of a promo scenario that would give her a better shot than the one that she's in against Tony Storm.
For sure. Very challenging.
It sounded like she was trying to sound like Tony in that promo last night, which didn't help at all. The whole performance.
They tried it for her having a mouthpiece with Stokely, and it didn't work. People were like, "This sucks," and everybody's saying, "I like Stokely, I like Stat." The two of them together, I do not like, and I wouldn't go back to you don't want to create the impression of like she's just bouncing around between managers because she can't talk. Just don't have her talk. It's fine. The work in the ring speaks for itself.
She can be Taz. She can be... But that said, I really think you have to at least give a little shot at Chuck Taylor managing her. They have the history. It makes perfect sense opposite the Death Riders. He's one of the greatest promos who's ever lived. There's just so much meat on the bone if they let Chuck manage her. And then the threat of the awful's always there. Anyway. Let's move. Anybody think a title change here? Or are we all thinking they got to give Stat a longer run than this?
I don't know. We can.
Same.
Depends what they did it with Private Party. Private Party lost immediately, and if they're not seeing it with what they gave, Stat the chance to run with it, maybe they take it off. But I don't think that's the case. But I see 15% chance, 20% chance.
RL 15-20.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, that sounds about right, I guess.
I think lower than that for me. I think this one's a firm 0 for me. I think Chris Statlander's walking out the champ. But I do think that opportunity, losing is a story, and I do think that Tony Storm can find evolution in actually being bested by Chris Statlander, and I will be curious to see where she goes from there.
Josh, can I ask you a quick question? You pointed out something talking about the alignment of this match and how that makes it difficult, and it made me realize that we just had the same point about the other world title match.
Both are babyface. I said that on the Wednesday show.
Yeah, and it just occurred to me, like, is that the kind of meat of why everyone's kind of anticipation scores are low? Is it really just an alignment problem in the two world title matches?
Yeah, I think it's the big part of it. I think that it is, as much as Cody Rhodes and the haters will tell you otherwise, that Shades of Grey is more interesting. I think that you can absolutely tell babyface versus babyface or heel versus heel stories, but I think the top of card most interesting thing you can have is the whole arena's cheering for one guy to win. I think that is the platonic ideal. Oh, I guess 50-50 has its own pluses as well, but you know what I'm saying. Let's move one on down to the chat's unanimous most anticipated match, nearly as well as mine. It's Darby Allin versus Jon Moxley in an I Quit match. RL, if I say that my expectations is that this is going to be one of the most hardcore singles matches in AEW history, how does that hit your ears?
I think that's right. I think that part of the problem with this pay-per-view too, to your point earlier, is that there's just a lot of like, feel like I've seen this before. The trios with the Hurt Syndicate, the conglomeration trios, like
Fletcher Briscoe.
Yeah, haven't we seen this all before? And I kind of felt that way when they were like, we're going from a casket match to an I Quit match. And I think for me, there's something kind of inherently not that interesting about an I Quit match.
Like the way the finish has to be, you mean?
Yeah, you have to stick a mic in a guy's face and he goes, I quit. And it's like, okay, we did, and the thing that I'm really worried about, frankly, is that like while you guys were doing Double Dudes last night, I was like half watching Collision and half watching you guys. And what?
No, I'm saying thank you. I appreciate when people give us the second screen on those 3-hour Collision nights.
So I'm watching that, and there's a point where like Darby comes out and Claudio, I don't know if you guys saw this, but Claudio just like smokes him with a European uppercut. And then like he crawls to the ring and like every member of the Death Riders gets their little shots in on him, but he won't give up. And then he crawls into the ring and he's like, you'll never get me to say I quit. And I'm like, if they're setting up like a Mick Foley, The Rock I Quit match from, what is that, Royal Rumble 98?
Yeah, 98.
Where
that clip is gonna, I thought the exact same thing.
Yeah, and like I've seen every permutation of, you're not gonna believe this, 50 Death Riders ran in and beat up Darby Allin. Like you can't show me a version of it I haven't seen before at this point.
But what if they do? What if they go more torturous and sort of boundary pushing with it than usual? Because Darby on pay-per-view with the whole thing of you're not going to quit, I do think is an offer that can break through that same barrier I share with you, finding that sort of fatigue. My expectations, at least, they will not be met if that is as far as this goes. I need to see something horrific happen to Darby Allin at the hands of the Death Riders if they're going to
agree. Yeah, like they need to, tie him to something and then just like Mick Foley style, 50 unprotected headshots with a chair, right? Like just you gotta almost kill one of these guys to make that happen. And frankly, I think Darby's gonna win the match somehow, despite all that. So
I'm happy to hear that you're picking Darby. I'll go to you, Matty Mac. Who are you picking in this match? And hearing me and RL go back and forth about how hardcore this can be and sort of where our expectations are there. Where do yours fall in line with that?
Yeah, well, I think the Mox is going to win. Okay. I'm having, even though I like this match very much, I'm having flashbacks to, there's a GCW match from Effie and Mansour where, someone is used as the plot device to have the other person quit.
The babyface
And-
quits on behalf of "Don't torture my friend."
Yeah. And I don't want that. And if it's that, I'll be very upset.
Who would that be for Darby?
That's a great question.
Sting?
Sting is the
Yeah.
answer that like leaps to mind for
Sting's
Bryan
son.
Danielson?
Sting's son just had his first match, pro match.
That's right, he did. Steve Boyd.
I think
If his second match is getting carved up by Jon Moxley till the reality, I was like, quit. He's my new favorite wrestler.
I think Maddie's right though. Bryan Danielson has been the story, right? Darby saying, "Please don't interfere in my match with him," and all that stuff.
Maddie's on Mox. RL's on Darby. Split the difference here, Dan. Which way do you think the wind's blowing on result here?
I think Darby, mainly because Mox got the win in the previous matchup that, again, we've all seen before. And,
and the one before that.
And the one before that.
Mox is 2-0 against him, I think, within a year.
Yeah. And to your point, to RL's point, like, this match, like, it feels as if we need to see like a near death here. Like something very, very, very gruesome needs to happen here, or else it is kind of the same thing. And yeah, I mean, isn't every match kind of an I quit match? Like if you get power slammed and the guy pins you 3, aren't you basically saying, all right, I'm done.
Verbal submissions do count. Like, so it is true that like if you said I quit in any match, the referee,
match is over. So
now in AEW, that probably just they would infer that as 10 more minutes, he's fine. But in any other thing.
Yeah, the other thing about that is what you also don't want in a match like this is the classic AEW. He never quit. He passed out and the ref called the match. Like you cannot have anything approaching that in this. Oh, they threw Darby off the top of the Chaffetz Center and like into an exploding car, and he never said I quit.
He's
just scraping him off the sidewalk with the shovel, but
the words never left his mouth.
He's gonna be carrying around a silver briefcase that says "I never quit." For 6 months. Right. Oh my god!
Can I make a bold prediction for this one?
Please, Bob.
I think that just given the guys that are crazy and what they've been teasing and alluding to, I think they know that they can't turn this into like Arl was saying, yet another Death Riders, 50 different guys come out and attack Darby. I think that's why they did that last night. I think he went through all those guys last night because he won't on Saturday. I think that Darby will turn this match into an Inferno match to keep anybody from coming into the ring. I think he sets the apron on fire and nobody can get in the ring.
I just don't think that can happen because they're indoors, but I want it so badly. I want it. And I thought they were heading to an Inferno match when he had the flamethrower out, but I love it, Bobby. Great prediction. I am also on Darby Allin here. I think eventually he has to climb the mountain. That is Jon Moxley, but I understand Maddie's pick. Like, who's more valuable to have relevant in your main event scene right now? It may be Jon Moxley, or at least sustaining his relevance is probably something that's on their mind, is probably a better way to say it. So I could see Mox winning here too. I'm expecting something more twisted than like outright hardcore, if that makes sense. Like less bombastic and more, have to look away. And I think that's going to be fun territory to explore on AEW pay-per-view. But RL's right. It is another rematch. We'll move on down to the tag team championships. Championships. It's one championship, 2 titles, I guess. Anyway, Brodito taking on 2 of the 61 members of the Don Callis family. It's Kazuchika Okada and Konosuke Takeshita. Guys, on paper, we just have to say, one of the greatest tag teams ever assembled. It has to be said. The quality of wrestler in the tag team of Okada and Takeshita is almost sickening. He's now the IWGP heavyweight champion of the world, which makes me think that Takeshita Okada, the more likely person to take the pin in this matchup. Dan, what do you think? Is there a chance that Okada and Takeshita are going to pick up the AEW titles? Does the IWGP title add some sort of aura protection that extends to the team? What do you think is going to go down here?
So that's more of a question for you about, I don't know what the history of people being heavyweight champion in one country and then a tag team champion in another country
I
would
don't think there's
be.
a lot of it.
Yeah, probably not. I actually kind of think Okada and Takeshita have a chance at winning this,
Yes.
mainly because isn't Bandito hurt? I mean, Bandito hurt?
That's all the hubbub.
So,
Yeah.
you know, you hate to kind of like attach these sort of like real world considerations to this sort of thing. But I mean, listen, Brodito's been a lot of fun. I don't think that they're necessarily done as tag champs at some point, but this, you said like, you know, story. I feel like this is just the next kind of story for the Don Callis family, and it won't last long. You know, they'll maybe by what is Full Gear, I guess, is next month, right? So maybe it's just there, and they lose, you know, to somebody else, and they just work the story, and Takeshita leaves the Don Callis family. But I think there's a pretty good chance that they win. You know, I don't know. I don't see why not. They
How
are
about
on
you,
paper.
Matty
They're
Mac?
awesome.
Yeah, exactly right. Matty Mac, you've got a good working knowledge of New Japan and the comings and goings. What's your read on this, and in particular the IWGP title being in play as it pertains to Takeshita's booking?
Yeah, it's very, very unique. Like you said, there's probably very few instances of this, and if there are instances of it, you know, it was just territory stuff, not, you know, global partners. So yeah, it's an interesting device to have attached to one of the combatants, and yeah, you know, Dan asking, you know, is that protect, or are you saying does that protect the whole
The
team
team,
itself?
yeah.
Yeah. And I don't think it does, in the sense that I think Okada's taking the pin
From
and
Brody?
then from Brody. And I think that Bandito, I don't know, gets hurt. They have to vacate, and then it's Brody Okada. That would be fun.
If they have to vacate, though, why wouldn't they just put them on to Okada and Takeshita?
Because the IWGP belt makes that all way too convoluted. Even though I just described something insanely convoluted.
No, that's okay. I that's what we're here to do. What about URL? Do we have a chance here to see new tag champs on Saturday night?
Yeah, this is one that I'm actually quite torn on, because even though you know, Bandito's allegedly hurt, he's also wrestled like 3 times since he got hurt. So I
That's
don't,
true.
you know, I'm not like super worried about him. I think he's probably, you know, in a situation where you don't have to necessarily put a focus on him if you don't need to. Or if you don't want to, I mean.
Yeah.
And so, you know, what's interesting is when I think about this, Okada has a belt, Bandito has a belt, obviously Takeshita now has a belt. And who's the one guy they always pin when there's a tag match featuring Brody King or a trios match featuring Brody King and his team has to lose? Is Brody King eats the pin. And while I think that the most likely outcome is that Brodito probably retains, I also think the most likely guy to get pinned in the match is Brody King, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and that, I think, sort of is the core of the intrigue at the center of the match for me, because I agree with what you said. I also think it's worth keeping in mind that there are ways to sow dissent between Okada and Takeshita in a win, right? The blind tag, I want the finish. Oh, you want this guy, you know, and their greatness as singles competitors can overcome it. And personally, I don't feel like Brodito is so, what would you say, protected as a tag team unit. There are champions, of course, but you know, it always felt more of convenience to me. I think both of their ceilings will be hit as singles competitors, not as this tag team unit, as good as they have been. And so I think that you have that space to play here. And ultimately, I am going to still pick Brodito to retain here and Okada to get pinned, which is such a crazy thing to predict out of a match. But when I do the backwards math on it, if Andrade is going to be off TV and Kenny's going to be out for a while, I think they are going to want to get to Okada Takeshita sooner rather than later. And that's sort of the genicizing of my pick. Like Dan says, you don't necessarily want to bring the real life stuff into it, but also I can't pretend. It's like, oh yeah, I didn't think of that. You know, it's like, yeah, no, that immediately crossed my mind with all this Andrade news, which what the hell? What the hell's going on there? It's insane. So I like this, a bit of a split here. You know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going on Brodito. but you guys nearly got me there. Is anyone outright going on Okada and Takeshita?
Yeah, I'm going to take them.
Yes.
I'm always wrong in these picks. I don't think I've ever picked a single thing right in any of these picks. So probably not the best indicator going forward, but that's my pick.
Chock full of confidence, my brother Dan Saraceni. Just, you know what? I will pick them, but I am wrong all the
Always
time.
wrong.
Yeah,
I'm with you, Dan. I'm with you. I think.
All right. Well, there you go.
I think the IWGP Heavyweight Champ wins every match he's in until he loses the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. I also wanted to say I think it's really awesome that they didn't book this as a 3-way tag where there's just like some obvious third team that's going to take the pin or whatever. They avoided doing the thing that AEW always does, and I think they should be commended for that.
You're right.
And if they do end up being tag team champions, obviously it's to fuel a feud down the line. It's like what was it, Austin and Dude Love or whatever when they were.
Oh, sure, yeah.
I love that. Austin needs help on the apron. Who's he against? Bulldog and I forget. And he's like, he tried 2-on-1. Hey. And he's just so pissed off that he has to accept Dude Love's help. It's so good. He's like, this guy, this hippie disco freak.
So imagine that, but instead of all the cool parts, he just says bitch. That's what we're going to get here.
Wow. I hope we can compare more matches tonight to the career of the great Mick Foley.
Amen, RL. Let's do our best. I mean, if you had to find a Mick Foley avatar in AEW, you could do a lot worse than the man challenging for the TNT title this Saturday night. Mark Briscoe taking on Kyle Fletcher for their 5th encounter. When they said this, I was like, I remember 2. What happened? There were 4? Kyle Fletcher and Mark Briscoe. They're 2-2. They're going for their 5-time rubber match. I actually like builds like this where, you accidentally, not accidentally on their end, but it's like, this is actually a 5th match is a big blow off. I feel kind of strongly that you have to go with Mark Briscoe here, even though I hate that booking too. I just don't like the booking position we're in with Mark Briscoe, where you beat MJF and it feels like a de-escalation to Kyle Fletcher. But if you're doing it in service of Kyle Fletcher losing this and going up the card, I get it. I'm picking Mark Briscoe here. Matty Mac, who are you picking to win this match? Is this another defense for Kyle Fletcher, or is Mark Briscoe our new TNT champ?
Let's go Briscoe here, you and me.
I love it. All of us together. What makes you think that Mark Briscoe is going to pick up the win over Kyle Fletcher?
I think it's time. We've been saying this for a long time, even though, like you said, it is bad booking, but it's time to give the people what they want, for lack of a better parlance. Like, people want Mark to have that belt. When he had the ROH belt, it felt super important. Had some incredible matches down there with it. And I want to see him with a belt again. Kyle Fletcher doesn't need it. I know he's been saying he wants to be the greatest TNT champion of all time, or that he already is, or whatever. And that may already be true, but it's probably not. But like, who cares? It's a TV title. But I am looking forward to the match. All their matches prior to this have been really, really great. And hopefully we get to see a cutthroat driver, because that's one of my favorite moves to see.
RL, are we looking at saying RL? Are we? Is the I should have come out of the gate with something different there. That's a tongue twister if there ever was one. RL, do we potentially have the match of the night on our hands when we're staring down Kyle Fletcher versus Mark Briscoe 5?
I think potentially, yeah. I think just he and Briscoe work really well together, which is probably why this is their 5th head-to-head. And probably if you don't count like 6-mans and tags and all that, they're probably in double digits at this point, right? So, I think I love both of these guys in the ring. I think they're awesome. Like, Fletcher showed with that Dustin Rhodes match a few months ago that he can be a little bit nasty in a way that Briscoe often likes to be, like with the tax match a couple of weeks ago. So it's not hard for me at all to see this one get like really finding an unexpected next level.
What about you, Dan? Is that, because I agree with RL, an unexpected next level, I think, is what these guys know they have to do here. That's what a 5th match is. I watch a lot of Japanese wrestling. These are feuds built on They see the move now. It's a counter to that. Like they build this across the feud. They know it has to be as good as it gets between them. Do you think they're going to hit that gear on Saturday night?
Yeah, I mean, would it be accurate? I don't think it's accurate to call this like a dark horse match because it's kind of overshadowed by everything else. But it would not surprise. Yeah, I mean, I guess it would not surprise me if this was the best match of the night. More than any other match on this card, I want Mark Briscoe to win for the exact reasons Maddie was just talking about. Like, we love Mark Briscoe. We want, and I love Fletcher too, but you just want Mark Briscoe to win. The TNT is perfect for him. He can go have a crazy run. It would be great. That ROH championship run was good, but like, how many people really saw it? Like, I think this would be a lot of fun to see him on every week, going through the whole roster and stuff. So I'm excited for this. And I do think it could be the match of the night. Although, it wouldn't surprise me if Fletcher won. Obviously, they probably have a lot more story to tell for him, but
yeah,
I just want Mark to win this so badly, because he's just a dude you just root for. Like, I don't know, it's really hard to categorize. I mean, there's people on the roster we all love, but you're just rooting for this guy. Like, you just want him to have the best.
I think that's exactly why I said he was the Mick Foley avatar on the roster. Just like there's some people that you innately just go, yeah, there we go. Yep.
How many kids does Mick Foley have? It's like a normal
Only
number,
the
right?
three.
Like
three. I think, yeah. We and none of them seem promising as wrestlers, if I'm being honest. But I'm telling you, the Briscoe family. Talk about somebody that's in their blood. Those kids are going to be insane wrestlers. I bet.
Seriously.
I will say that I think that these guys might be limited because I think that the hardcore on the card is probably going to go the way of the I Quit match, and I think these two probably could benefit from getting bloody and really going the extra mile. I thought the Thumbtack match was really great last month with MJF, but my expectations are still sky high. I'm picking Mark Briscoe to pick up the title. It sounds like we all are. It's the only justice in terms of his booking. But I will say, even if he wins the title on Saturday, they've missed the boat. It's too late. It's not too late in terms of they shouldn't do it, but it should have been months ago. Like the
wave crested for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
He's done about 24 yelling at the camera promos that he could have done with a belt around his waist, and those won't hit as hard. I really think that anyway. Speaking of that ROH title reign nobody saw though, that him and Briscoe where that's a great match. Or sorry, him and Eddie, I should say. Briscoe and Eddie for that title. It's really great.
So
match.
Good.
One of the previous 4 Kyle Fletcher matchups was actually for the ROH title when Briscoe was champion too, which is kind of interesting.
Oh, no kidding.
Right.
Thank you, Bobby. Tying it all.
That was kind of the point at which everybody was like, maybe this kid can be like a main event style guy.
That's right. That's right.
Because that match, I forgot about that. That match kicked ass. That match was so good. And you know what? If they just do that move for move, I'm happy with that.
I am pretty hyped for this one as we talk about it. Actually,
so they've actually done a really bad job telling the story of these two guys past, but they laid the groundwork for it beautifully if they just reminded people. So there's the ROH challenge that Kyle Fletcher lost. Then they faced each other in the Continental Classic, and it was the lone win that Mark Briscoe got was over Kyle Fletcher. Speaking of a cutthroat driver. And then they faced each other in the Owen Hart tournament quarterfinal, and Fletcher won that. So there's like a lot of high stakes matches between them. They've done nothing to remind us of that at all.
Yeah, they did do a bad job laying that out. They should hire you, Bobby.
And this is a short card. They don't have that much on the card. So there's no excuse for not building that,
Can I say 2 more things about this?
Please,
One,
or else say 3 if you got them.
I only got the 2. One, I think with a Briscoe win, Kyle Fletcher instantly becomes the favorite for the Continental Classic for me.
Oh, I don't know that he's not that already for me, unless they want to do it as an Okada Takeshita. Like that's how they get there. But I like that call a lot. Yep.
And then 2, Briscoe winning forces him out of all these conglomeration 6.
That's enormous.
So Briscoe wins, and then we all win.
That's exactly right.
I like that. I like this match at the center of the card. I will remind everybody, the moment the card ends, late night Saturday, I'll be live on the channel that you're watching this on right now, twitch.tv/WrestlingBrain. Come on by, give me your score. We'll talk about what the pay-per-view is. I'll probably be live for an hour or so. We'll talk about the show top to bottom, talk about any big angles coming in or out of it. So come join me. Also, it's Saturday night. I'm going to be honest. I might be in fine form. There's a chance I log on and I'm a different guy that I don't really have when I'm hosting these. It's also my birthday tomorrow, so I'm going to wake up in one way Saturday. I might try to start the car. So anyway, tune in Saturday for the post show as well. 35 minutes from now, the pick'em sheet for WrestleDream goes live at patreon.com/J0SHC. This is, of course, available to free patrons as well. Do I have one of the remaining hologram stickers? I do. I have 4 of these left. Wrestling Brain holographic stickers cannot be purchased, can only be won. It's a race. Get in there. It's going to be chronological. So the first 4 people to go perfect. If you're the 5th person who goes perfect, you're going to be pissed. I don't have anything for you. So get in there in 35 minutes or whenever you're hearing this, patreon.com/J0SHC. It costs no money. Make a pick on win the sticker.
I've never seen a sticker that was calling to be placed on a bicycle frame more than that sticker. And I mean that in the most complimentary way possible.
No, it's true.
Like,
it's so
you want that
reflective.
reflective brain on your bike while you're cruising the neighborhood.
It's so true. Keep the people safe. I like
Right.
this sticker. All right. Well, almost done here, fellas, because like you said, this is a shorter card, which I appreciate. I have called for AEW to shave 1 match off of their cards for so long. They have here. This is an 8-match card so far. Watch them announce 2 tomorrow, just on Twitter. Hopefully they don't.
I actually
Sorry,
think they
Mom.
will just announce a Mercedes match on Twitter tomorrow. I'm pretty certain they will.
I think she's going to get like a celebration angle, or else she's working 3 matches in 3 countries in 3 days, because she's on CMLL Friday. She's in Winnipeg Sunday. So I think
Right.
Saturday is going to be like a Ultima Money championship celebration, and the next feud will come out and bash a bottle on her
They
head or
got to
something.
get the Ultimo Dragon in the building for this one.
Where does he live? Do we know?
Kobe.
Does he?
Yeah.
Get him on a plane.
Get him on a plane.
He's probably wrestling 2 Dragon Gate shows that day.
Well, tell him we can pay him 10x for sitting in the audience at AEW.
So
Okay, I'll let him know.
$100 he's going to get if he shows up.
Yeah. But I agree. You have to do something with Ultimo Dragon and Mercedes
You
Moné
can't-
somewhere.
They've invoked his name so much. Ultimo Dragon has to be there.
I love it.
Put him in the
But that's what I'm
crowd.
expecting, Bobby. Some sort of title celebration on the pay-per-view.
Hopefully Ultimo's sitting beside Andrade in the crowd and they just have the camera on them the entire time.
They're both just smiling.
Yeah, Andrade's having a great time. He's speaking Spanish to Ultimo Dragon. It's going to be awesome.
They're back. It's Jurassic Express. It's Jack Perry and Luchasaurus. They're a tag team once more. Jack Perry already doing a ton of inconsistent character work. Is he a bad guy in this tag team? He was the first week, but no real way of knowing. They're here taking on the Young Bucks. RL, would you believe this? In a $500,000 match. Would you wrestle the Young Bucks for $500,000, RL?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
That's a free $500,000 for you. What do you think of this matchup here? And what do you think of it as a return for Jurassic Express? I kind of hate it as a first match back for Jurassic Express.
I get it as a first match back for them, but I don't like 2 teams I couldn't care less about at this point. You know, like,
and something we've seen, like they feels like such tread ground.
how many times you want to talk about? Oh, Kyle Fletcher and Mark Briscoe have faced each other 5 times. This is the 879th match, it says on Cage Match, between Jurassic Express and the Young Bucks.
Well, just even
So
outside
it's
of
a rubber
matches, just
match,
like
though.
existing in each other's universes, even when they're on the same side of the coin, like they're just wrestlers that you associate with one another.
Totally.
And so, what do you think of a match though? It's a pretty high ceiling in quality, I think.
Yeah, sure. I feel like I've seen every way they could do this match. Oh, this one, the big guy comes in, he chokeslams everyone. Oh, okay. I never seen that version of it, you know.
What if he does the double clothesline? That might subvert
Well,
you.
wait a second.
Won't see that coming.
See,
Yeah.
RL, I think you failed to consider though that this will be the first time that they do a "What if the Lucha Brothers don't work here anymore" match.
That's tough. RL, any chance the Young Bucks do get the $500,000 that they could use, or is this just going to be Jurassic Express wins and they're getting sort of momentum and more relevancy in the tag title scene?
Yeah, you don't bring them back and have everybody doing the hand thing in the crowd to have them immediately lose to the Young Bucks.
What say you, Matty Mac? Is this a signed, sealed, delivered Jurassic Express victory? And what are your expectations for the match itself?
No, I'm on the Bucks here, and I think they're using a defeat of Jurassic Express to get some more heat on the Bucks, because people have kind of been back on them since they started up their YouTube show again, and it's like, I don't like the ironic "we like these guys." It's like, they're still bad guys. The reason the good guys are going after them is because they're bad guys. So like, I think they could ruin the return of the Jurassic Express and get some good heat, and I don't know. And then as far as
But if
the
they get
match
500
itself,
grand, they're not going to be the broke Bucks anymore.
no, I know
I guess they go back
they're
to the team
not,
now.
but they could. Well, that's a good point. That's why people get upset about it. Maybe, I don't know.
How about you, Dan? Are you looking forward to this match more than RL and Matty Mac?
Probably not. Talk about a group that needs a manager. How much of our and listen, when I first started watching AEW, I'm pretty sure Jurassic Express was the tag champions or was around there. I definitely remember them
Makes sense.
losing to Swerve in Our Glory and kicking that whole thing off. So I actually kind of like
yeah.
these guys, but how much of that is fueled by Christian being the mouthpiece for what's a really good tag team in ring? Big guy, little guy, but neither guy has to talk when you've got one of the all-time greats and he's just insulting everybody, and it was great, so how much of that element is gone? It's
Yeah.
completely missing. So like RL said, I think the match will be fine. We've seen this before. I guess Jurassic Express wins. I don't know. I didn't really think about it that hard, to be honest with you. I just want to know also, how long can they keep this the Bucks need cash storyline going before, again, people are still like, really, we're still doing this? Like, you guys
You haven't
saved anything.
Christmas.
Yeah,
You're trying to buy the Nintendo Switch 2 and they can't find it anywhere. They do like a jingle all the way thing.
Yeah. How many casinos is whatever his name is going to go to? So I mean, I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be a lot of fun. But I don't know. Again, this of all in a card full of matches we do feel like we've seen before, this is the one I feel we've seen the most of before.
Yeah.
Except there's no Lucha Brothers around, basically.
I have two
Bob.
follow-up questions for this one. One is, I wanted to ask Matty if he could give a critique of Jack Perry's whittling skills that were displayed on Dynamite. Insane choice to use a gigantic 2x2 or whatever that was.
Yeah, man, you use what's around. It might have been, it might have been pine, which not the best to carve. It's pretty hard wood, got some breathability, but it just kind of the wrong knife and the wrong piece of wood, and just not the greatest. What's the second question?
And maybe the wrong guy too. The second question is,
It's from the jungle.
what does the dinosaur need the money for?
What does Jack Perry need the money for? That kid's
Yeah,
got.
Well, I can answer.
no
I can
money.
answer I can answer the dinosaur one for you. He wants to buy a big car,
That makes sense. Yeah.
not a truck, just like a big, like a normal car, but a kind of scaled up in size.
And maybe an El Camino.
Yeah, maybe bigger. I don't know, but yeah, he wants to spend it all on a big car. He said.
I do want to say, I think it's funny. I understand the knee-jerk reaction of like, Jack Perry is like, a rich kid, grew up with like a Hollywood dad or whatever, but like, is Luke Perry was he really that successful? He was on a TV show for 3 seasons 35 years ago or whatever. That's all, to my knowledge, that's all he ever did.
He was on Riverdale. He was on a bunch of shows. He worked consistently after 90210. And he was on for longer than that. I love 90210. I used to watch it all the time when I come home from school.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood as well.
Yeah. He was on Oz. They buried him in a wall on Oz. I will never forget that.
Forgot about
see that coming. Spoiler for a show that came out 20 years ago.
2001. The advent of HBO. Spoiler.
Yeah.
That's the whole box office. Yeah. All right. Let's go on down here to Tekla versus Jamie Hayter. This one's gotten a lot of build. I think maybe like Matty Mac and RL were implying earlier, this is one that maybe didn't pick up speed this week for me. But nonetheless, I'm excited to see more of Tekla in ring, and that is almost enough. I think Jamie Hayter crosses that bar where I think we will get a good read of Tekla. It's not like she's in there against somebody where it has to be a full-on carry job. Let's start with you, Dan. Your expectations for this one in terms of a match quality sense.
Pretty good. So you guys talked about Jamie Hayter's match against Sky Blue the night on Wednesday. Was not great. I actually thought Hayter looked okay in that match. Not to pin it all on Sky, but I thought Hayter looked okay. I think it'll be good. I think ideally these are two ladies that, again, hit very hard. Ask Queen Aminata about how hard Tekla hits. She's still got some bruises, I think, from her. But the thing with me about this match that I was thinking of is like, you would think that like for Tekla, this is your big like pay-per-view sort of debut, and you want to come out and put on a good show and show everybody, get more pay-per-view matches later on. But I really feel like this is almost more. It's really more important for Jamie Hayter, because if she can't have a good match against Tekla in this setting, I mean, Josh, you said something yesterday that like really blew my mind, but really made a lot of sense when I thought about it, was that like Jamie's trending more towards Hikaru Shida territory than like Statlander, sort of like active member of the division territory. And that really kind of put me in. And so this match does have the potential to kind of push her in one direction. If it's great, whether she wins or loses, it doesn't really matter. Like if it's great, then she can kind of move towards, again, challenging current people in the division. If she doesn't, and she looks slow, she's not hitting as hard, it's kind of like, stilted or whatever, they might need to find a new spot for her, which would be unfortunate because I like Jamie Hayter. I think we all kind of do, but I don't know. That was my think, was like, Tekla almost has like, not that there's no pressure there, but
No,
like all of it's on Jamie.
RL, I actually think Dan's completely right that there's like, that is a stake in this match. Like Jamie Hayter has pressure to have a good one here. Do you agree with that?
Oh, totally. Yeah, no, I was gonna say, not the Hikaru Shida comparison, the Britt Baker comparison, right? Like,
Sure, yeah.
Another person who just like got completely like went away for a while, got completely lapped by the division in terms of in-ring quality. And the thing with Hayter is like, she also is not the best talker. She comes out dressed like a Scooby-Doo character every month. Like, there's a lot riding on this, just in terms of like, where can we even use her if she can't have a, like it or not, this is the work rate fed. And if you can't have a passable match, you can beat Penelope Ford, I guess. You can be Anna Jay and have a job forever, but like, if you want to be taken seriously, you have to have good in ring. And I don't know that we've really seen that from Hayter in a singles match since she came back from her 16-month absence.
What do you think I'll be saying on the post show? Did these two get it done? Did they have something pretty high end, or do you think that this was sort of more in the, like you say, that Britt Baker and Hikaru Shida feels like I feel like Hayter's maybe a little above that, but you know what I mean. Like, do you think it's closer to that, or something that we're sort of going, oh wow, that was of the tier, sort of like a Statlander Tony up on the card, or maybe not approaching that, but something that was quite good?
Yeah, if it hits that gear, it'll be because Hayter starts really like laying it in, basically.
Yeah.
Because like Dan said, that's what Tekla does. Tekla hits hard. And that used to be Jamie Hayter's like catchphrase or something, like, right?
Hayter hits hard. Yeah, literally. Yeah.
And I just don't feel like you said on Wednesday, like I feel like there was no real aggression from her in that match, and maybe I'm just trying to get to Sunday or Saturday night. I'm not really trying to go all out against Sky Blue on a go home show,
which would be more than fair. Like, if that totally gets erased if she slays it out here on Saturday.
But that only counts if we've seen her really kill it in recent months, and we have not, right? So I'm tempering my expectations here. I think this can reach that next gear, but I would be insane to go into it going, and I think it will for sure, because I haven't seen it from Hayter in a year and a half, 2 years. So
what's your read on where these two are at, Matty Mac? Oh, sorry, Dan.
No, I was saying I didn't realize how much time she's missed until I said it yesterday. It was like 16 months or something. I was like, geez, no wonder she's kind of rusty.
What's your read on where these two are at, Matty Mac, both in Tekla and Jamie Hayter, and sort of their momentums in the division?
Yeah, I think Hayter needs more than a win. Well, I do think she needs a win, but I think she needs to prove that she's still got it, which, both these guys already said. And I think Tekla is going to bring that out of her. I think Jamie really wants that. I don't think she is kind of, I get the read from Anna Jay that like she's good. She's happy. I don't think that Hayter is going to be happy unless she's a good wrestler again.
And there is a difference there.
For sure, yeah. But if she can't do it in the ring anymore, what's her utility? Because she's not going to talk herself into anything interesting, and that's a concern. And like Arl mentioned it, like it just is what it is right now. Like you can be a great wrestler, and we've seen her be a great wrestler. One of our favorite wrestlers in 2022 or whatever it was, world champ, and deserve it at the time. People were going nuts.
Seen as the best of the division, I think, in ring.
Yeah, totally.
Absolutely. So she needs this. A performance that is worthy of a former champion, which we don't get a ton of from former champions, which is within the women's division especially. It's very interesting how they just get lapped immediately, and that's happened.
It's
to
happened
Jamie.
in MMA too. It's sort of like a sign of, I think, that its development is in an early stage. Like it's evolving very, very quickly.
Sure.
Like Ronda Rousey was the greatest women's fighter anyone had ever seen and couldn't win a moment of a fight within a year and a half. Like it's really something.
Yeah, and as far as Tekla goes, she has the ability to remain super relevant because of her character alone. Jamie Hayter doesn't have an interesting character whatsoever. I don't know what she does. I know that Tekla is a maniac and parties and listens to hardcore music.
Seems beast.
That's great to me. And if you lose, that's still relevant because you're the leader of a faction, and they're not just going to make you disappear.
And who do you think's winning this one, Maddie?
I think Jamie Hayter is going to win because I think everything that I said, I'm not the only one who thinks that. I think she needs this elevation.
What about for URL? Who's picking up the win here?
Yeah, this is another one I was kind of 50-50 on, but what Maddie just said I think is right on. So I'll take Hayter as well.
Unanimous between the three of you, Dan?
Yes, I think it's Jamie Hayter, and I'm pretty sure her character now is just British. That's the character. That's the only thing she's kind of going for her.
She's from
Well,
England.
she's
Right,
British and she's figuring out what's going on down at the old abandoned amusement park.
That's right. That's right. They would have gotten away with it too if it
The
wasn't.
Mystery Machine is sick. Here's my hook to the match. I agree that Jamie Hayter is probably winning, but I think the winner of this match will go up against the champion of the opposite alignment. So I think if Tekla wins, she's Statlander's next defense. And if, Hayter wins, she's Mercedes' next defense. And that stakes enough that like a number one contendership, when this is the nice value of having mixed alignments as champs. There was a while where it was, all heel guys or all babyface women. This is the nice part about that, where you can't really predict their path as easily just based off of alignment. So that's interesting to me here, but you guys all said it better than I could. It really is about the quality of the match for me. And this is unfair to say, but it's just true. I'm just saying where my brain is. If it's bad, I'm not blaming Tekla. So
Totally.
just get that out of the way in advance. And finally, gentlemen, something fresh. It's a Tornado Trios match. We hurt people.
Wait a second. It's a tornado match on top of everything else? I didn't see this part.
They only announced it during Collision.
They announced it last night, yeah.
Oh, Christ, man. Oh.
Come on, RL. You don't want to see these guys compete without rules? The Hurt Syndicate versus the Demand? No rules.
This has to be the 9th time they've done this match.
No, but it's got no rules this time.
You're right. Last time it was a street fight, which is different.
Wow, that's in the street.
You're right. When you're right,
no,
you're right.
I mean, Dan, help me out here. I have to do the show every Wednesday on Dynamite. I have not a thing left, not a drop of energy left in me to talk about the Hurt Syndicate versus Ricochet and the fellas. You got any sort of take here? Help me out.
No, I don't. My only take is that the Demand is still a terrible name, and that is an Impact ass name. Like Impact loves the system or the design, and now it's the Demand. But again, I'm not going to say anything you guys aren't going to say. We've seen this match. These guys are good together, but how many times are we going to see this? And I'm with you, RL. Like before they announced it as a Tornado Trios match, I was like, are we going backwards now? Didn't we just do a street fight? Like, why are we just? Then they announced the Tornado Trios, and you're like, okay, I guess. But
That's
like,
just spinning the tires. The last match was a no DQ.
Yeah.
Everybody's hitting everybody. Like nobody's tagging in and out match.
And what if I
are we
told you
doing?
guys in between those, they gave away the tag win, the actual
Unbelievable.
one?
Literally unbelievable that happened last night.
Wow, what you guys are saying is so true and so silly. The sandwich, the meat in the middle of those two pieces of bread is GOA pinning the Hurt Syndicate. Matty Mac, does this guarantee a Hurt Syndicate win on Saturday?
I don't know. Do you think they like slipped it in on a Wednesday that they didn't think many people would be watching, just to be like, let's get it over with and not make this a big deal?
Yeah,
man, I don't know. It's just what was your question? Sorry.
Do you think that the Hurt Syndicate are guaranteed a win after giving up a tag win? Because you think, and I'm not trying to be too broken brained about this, but of course I am poisoned to think the Hurt Syndicate are working in bad faith. Because if you think about it, they take the tag loss, but if it's MVP that really is being like, oh, we have to be untouchable, they're getting back their trios loss where they pinned MVP on Saturday.
Yeah, he's
the first thing I thought yesterday. I was like, oh, I see what we're doing here. You didn't actually lose to these guys. MVP got caught. They're gonna beat these guys soundly on Saturday.
And they don't even have to be good because they don't have to tag in or anything. It just is going to be a mess. It's not like these guys are running a 6-man Dragon Gate match where, you know, everyone's going back and forth. You slide in, you slide out. You don't have to tag. Everything flows really nicely. That's not going to happen here. Nothing is going to flow nicely. It's going to be, I don't know, like what's a super downgraded version of a tornado? That's what this tag is. It's not a tornado at all.
Tropical storm match.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I just think that even if a great match broke out, I wouldn't even be able to recognize it at this point. I like the 6-man RL brought up, the no rules one that was on TV with the Type Air Kids. I thought that was a really fun match, but I wasn't like, oh man, I need the bunch more, 2 more of these. Like no part of me was feeling that. So
in the next 2 weeks, yes, please.
Yeah, exactly. On a window that short. So
the Zoobs had a great point about this on the show last night, which is like, what is the purpose of this? Like, what is the where is everybody going with this? Like, at no point have either of these two trios groups been like, we're coming for you, Ops. We want your belts. Like, that would have been something at least. Like, it's just they just keep going, like you said, spinning wheels, going round and round for no reason.
It feels like they just only want to work the people that it's like, oh yeah, the whole thing was like, oh yeah, they will lose to GOA. It's like, yeah, sure, sort of. Yeah, over a 6-week long feud and making sure that they get wins in every match style as well. Yeah, sure. And you know Bobby Lashley ain't laying down. Not that I think he should, for the record. I think keeping Bobby Lashley unpinned is the right call, for the record. Anyway, that's WrestleDream, fella. Oh, I'm on Hurt Syndicate here. How about you, RL? Also Hurt Syndicate?
Yeah, I think we're getting the Hurt Lock slapped on Ricochet, and he's gonna fucking ragdoll like crazy for that one.
How about you, Dan? Also joining RL and I on the Syndicate?
Yeah, again, mainly because they lost on Wednesday, and please let Shelton Benjamin go solo at some point. Please, I'm begging you. Like, there's so much more this guy can do. Please,
I'd love to see him in the C2 again. Yeah,
seriously.
That was so sick.
He's so good. Yeah,
I'm all in on that. Matty Mac, make it 4 if you will. Is the Hurt Syndicate winning on Saturday?
Yes.
Unanimous from the fellas. Actually, well, let's hear. Is it unanimous? Bobby, are you thinking GOA and Ricochet end this curse, this dark cloud that the Hurt Syndicate has put over AEW?
No, so my initial reaction was to be like, who cares? But then the real answer is, yeah, I think the Hurt Syndicate is going to win. I'll tell you this. I left my seat in Toronto during this same match. Didn't watch a second of it. Never went back and rewatched it. Don't care. Didn't care then. Care even less now. So couldn't bury it anymore.
He hurts people. He hurts people. That's about Bobby's criticisms of the damn Hurt Syndicate, that track. Guys, thank you so much for joining me on these preview shows. I always love doing these. One of my favorite things on the channel to do. If you are listening on the podcast feed, please hit a follow and stars. You know, whatever. They all have different things. Whatever yours is, the one that yours is, do that. So I don't have to talk through them all. You're a smart person. You got here. You found the show. Look on the screen that I'm talking on right now. What do I click? What do I click? Click the one that numbers go up. Anyway. Matty Mac, anything you want to tell the people before we get out of here tonight?
No, absolutely not.
What about you could talk about your sports teams, you could talk about art you like. This is your time. You're seeding your 10-15 seconds.
Okay. Yeah. There's been some pretty nice photos up lately on Bakkun's website. Oliver Leach, is that his name?
Mm-hmm.
Really great photographer, and I've been thinking about buying a piece from him. Probably won't. Don't have the money, but my birthday is in just over 5 weeks. So if anyone wants to hook it, let me know.
Love it. RL, what's your message to the people?
I'm good. I got people listen to me yap too much already.
Any movie recommendations? 70s, 80s, 90s? What's something somebody should watch if they haven't seen it?
Oh, geez. Well, I have been playing Ghost of Yote a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Lately.
I hear that's great.
It's really good, and it just has me, thinking about samurais a lot as a consequence.
Time.
And so you turn to your Kurosawas, you turn to your Mikes, and suddenly you're just watching the coolest shit that's and you know what? I'll say this. Here's a recommendation. Kurosawa, people think of him, he's just the samurai guy. You ever see a film called The Bad Sleep Well? A film called High and Low?
High and Low.
Seek out some of the non-samurai, like the more modern Kurosawa stuff. You're gonna be sitting real pretty.
I love it, and thank you as ever for coming on.
Of course.
Dan, finally, your time. What would you like to deliver to the rest? To deliver? What? Where's my brain? What message would you like to deliver to the Wrestling Brain faithful?
It's been a long day. I will shamelessly promote Weird Islanders, the podcast, but not for me. Go back and listen to our episode last year on Islanders Training Camp All-Star Puce Suitor that starred a friend of ours named Ryan Schapp, and listen to Ryan's podcast, The Hardest Podcast to Podcast.
Look at that. Giving Ryan a plug. I feel like
he's our friend. Gotta do it.
I like that show. I listened to him and John Cullen just the other day. John saying Meg White's a bad drummer. He's right, but that's why they're good. This is why they were talking past each other.
%.
They kept talking past each other. He's like, no, she's a good drummer. No, she's a bad drummer. You're both right. Well, anyway. And as for me, I just ask that you come join the post show the moment WrestleDream ends. Stay up late with me. I'll be on the gimmicks. We'll have a good time. Until then, we'll see you. And like Hiroshi Tanahashi says, love and energy, everybody. And Bobby, thank you so much for your work tonight, as ever. And Bobby, I should do this. Anything you want to say real quick, Bobby?
No, just come back for the post show.
And they will. Love and energy, everybody. Have a wonderful night. Hey, thanks for checking out that video. Next step, hit follow down below. Step after that, head over to twitch.tv/WrestlingBrain. We're live every Monday and Wednesday and on pay-per-view weeks, or just when we feel like talking about wrestling. It's many more shows than that. You can hit follow over there to be alerted every time we go live. If you need even more, patreon.com/J0SHC has a free tier and a paid tier. Check those out and see if any suit you fine. We'll see you then, and like Hiroshi Tanahashi says, love and energy.